Today I want to share with you, and we're going to have a few of our illustrious members out there assist me in this project. We're going to talk about opportunities for growth. Okay, Steve, right arrow, please. You know, talking about opportunities for growth in Lions, most of us think about, well, what if I just work on Street of Screams? Or what if I just go through the chairs? Or what if I just take care of Lions Island? Those are all wonderful, fantastic projects. I want to share with you today the opportunities that we have outside of this club that I know for a fact. One of them I'm going to talk about, maybe a half a dozen or more have gone. Maybe a dozen in our club. In what I'm going to talk about, 3 people have gone. One of the things I'm going to talk about is 3 people have gone, or 5 because of spouses. But these are opportunities just really amazing. And my first question is, why would you consider doing some of these things out of the club? What about understanding what we're all about? I remember that moment in District Governor-elect school when I really understood what LCIF is all about. Did you know you can take your vacation, work on a service project, and go someplace crazy in the world that you never thought you'd go to? That kind of understanding that I experienced that day in Ethiopia. Sole purpose to Ethiopia was to go pick up grandchildren. But I got the invite to the campus Lions Club's installation. This club was sponsored by 2 professors at that university. One was a pastor of a Christian church. Another was a female Muslim. And we always have this feeling about, some people have a feeling about if they're Muslim, they're bad. They're not bad. They're not all bad. We just happen to read about the crazy loons in the paper in San Bernardino and stuff like that. There are fantastic Muslims out there. And in just talking with this lady, she said this sentence to me: I knew of no other way to motivate the students to serve their community. Pretty powerful statement. You know, another way you can go out there is for leadership. Another way on these projects we're going to talk about is for knowledge. And the question then I ask you, is there anything else you think you could get from going outside of the club? Anybody? This is a question for you. Is there anything else you can get? Friendships. What else? Ron, when you did that fall forum, what did you get out of that?
Better understanding of the multi-district
Correct. Correct. Mark, you had something? Ideas? Yes, there's a lot of different things. I remember when my brother was going through the chairs with young Mike Firth. You know, we all miss him. Remember the Mike Firth that we liked? Yeah, okay, you remember that one. Good, okay. It's always confusing. You know, and he stood up here and he gave his, I would call it a testimony of the experience that he had at one of these events, that he thought it was the finest educational experience he'd ever had in his career. And that's a guy who worked for Columbia Analytical for a number of years. He was a college graduate. You know, lots of different things. Next slide. How many projects do you think Lions Clubs International endorses? Let's give me a number.
3.
Yeah, 3. Good start. What else? How about 28? In 7 areas. The areas are, well, obviously the major one we do is site Sight First, Lions Preventing and Reversing Blindness. The next one's in the area of community services, environmental services, health and wellness, hearing preservation and awareness and action, sight preservation, awareness and action, and there's more under that. International relations, Lions Opportunity for Youth, Lions Services for Children. And we have some goals that they have when they adopt these service projects. There are probably 20 on this list that we have never, ever even considered as a Lions Club. And I look at that and I say, what an opportunity we could do. How many people could we excite if we took on a project like the Lions Alert program? Anybody heard of that one before? Yep. If you heard about the Lions Alert program, in conjunction with the slides up above in Snohomish, Osco, you know, it's where they brought everybody together to help solve those problems. Have you ever heard of the Lions Environmental Photo Contest? Who here is a photographer? If Dwayne doesn't raise his hand, I'm going to throw something. You know. Taking an environmental photo and going all the way to Lions Club International and getting recognized is one amazing thing, and there's lots of things that you could do in there. Diabetes screening. We used to do diabetes screening in the wagon when it came down. I'll call it Mike and Pat's wagon. Yeah, but now we don't do that anymore, do we?
It's going to be at the College County Fair this year.
Oh, okay. Okay, but we're going to have diabetes screening there? Okay. Blood pressure. There's hearing ear dogs. How many here are hard of hearing? That's it. Okay. How about Helen Keller Day? Have we ever celebrated Helen Keller Day here? We all, for the newer people, Helen Keller gave us a charge to be the Knights of the Blind. Lions Day at the United Nations. What's that all about? Well, that's where the Peace Poster winner is announced. And we're the only non-governmental organization that's part of the United Nations. Just like we're the only service club organization in China. Lions Quest, Lions Children First, Kids Sight, all of these things. And I do have some extra copies of this list up there because when you look at this list, it's amazing. You know, the things that we as a group could do. And wouldn't it be exciting to bring some of these community projects to our community? Okay, the next topic slide I want to talk to you about is the Northwest Lions Leadership Institute. This is coming up in February of this year. Now, would you raise your hand if you're a Leadership Institute? Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the room. I know we got another half a dozen or so. But these are the topics that are there. Personal mission statement, public speaking, team building, goal setting, local issues and opportunities, member motivation, time management, and presentations. These are all things that can help you become a better person, a better lion, and a better, just better overall helping your service to your community. With that, where is my microphone guy? Could you come and talk to give the mic on the Institute?
Hello there. I went to the Northwest Lions Leadership Institute back, I think, when I was first VP, and it was a wonderful experience. Believe it or not, I wasn't comfortable talking in public before that. Still not one of my favorite things to do, but I can do it now. I think the best example of this is after Jim became a Lion and we went to our first convention together, we ran into past council chair Al Hunt. For those of you who went to my installation, he was my installer. And Al goes, "What do you think of her?" And Jim says, "I see a whole other side of her."
Yeah, yeah. Is there anybody else would like to say, talk about their experience? Always have one setup and go for another one. Nobody else? Okay, very good. So the next slide. Oh. Come on, Mike. Oh, is that what it was? Oh, good. Thank you very much. No extra charge. Okay, the next slide. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah, that's right. These are the facts. February 4th to the 7th. It's at the Yakima Valley Hotel and Conference Center. The fee for this includes the hotel room. It'll be a double occupancy, meals, materials, and an adventure you will never forget. And when we say that, an adventure you'll never forget, I have taught or been part of at least 4 or 6 of these, between Washington and Oregon. And watching the growth in people is exciting, you know. I wasn't able to, I guess, I watched Doug grow too, you know. He was 5'4" when he went in there. Yeah. Steve who? Can you believe it? He came up a little short. What'd you guys do with him anyway? Jeez. Oh, that's right. He's pushing my buttons for me. Ooh, the cost is $375.
Better be kind to him.
I know it. There's a $150 grant available, so it could get your cost down to $225. And from time to time, our club has paid or assisted with that $225. So I hope that you'll really consider this thing. It gives you a whole new perspective on Lions. Okay, next slide. USA-Canada Forum. So, this is the basic purposes of the USA-Canada Forum: to promote principles and objects of Lions Clubs International, training, educating, and motivating district and club officers, providing for an exchange of information, discussion of service activities, advancing the interests of the Lions Club International Foundation. When I was incoming president, the club sent me to Syracuse, New York. And I got to tell you about as I walked into this forum and didn't see anybody I knew, but there was a sea of people out there just saying hi, getting to know each other again, that they hadn't seen since the last USA forum. And that kind of said, whoa, something exciting is going on here. And as I took the seminars and I saw the booths for different projects, did you know, booths, John Wilkes Booths, yeah. I talked to one of the longest, there's 2 projects at Lions Club International you're going to laugh about that are one of the longest lasting fundraisers ever. One is light bulbs, one is brooms. I sat and talked to that broom guy for about 10 minutes about how it works. He says, well, and he had a club that was netting $20,000 from broom sales. And they do it, sell them primarily to businesses. And it was just amazing going, could I see our club selling brooms? Yeah, well, that would be interesting if we could, but you know. Yeah, that's right, yeah. That's right. It only sold to what? You're not going to say it, are you? For him.
You guys are in trouble now. You can't have a microphone here. As much as I'd love to give Hal a rash of crap, and still enjoy doing that,
Yeah.
I have to give him credit and compliments. He was the one that got me to my first USA Canada Forum. I don't remember if it was Columbus or all 3 I've been to in the Midwest.
I think it was Ohio or Michigan, one of the 2.
Amazing training, not just Lions oriented, a lot of leadership training, just phenomenal training. But I think the thing that really set it apart is the speakers that you hear at the lunch and the evening meals are just outstanding. I mean, if you don't leave that place just fired up for service, there's no hope for you as for a heart of service. Just phenomenal. You were talking about longevity of some of these events. I think Roger Richard is still one of is a dad that have been to every USA Canada Forum. I've been fortunate enough to 3 of them. You don't know long ways away. So about a decade ago, there was one in Portland, and coming up soon, we have them in Spokane and Portland, Oregon. Yeah, in the next
Correct.
6-8 years.
Yeah,
Something
3
along
years
those lines.
maybe.
3 years for one of them, and
Yeah.
a little bit farther out than that. But what an amazing experience. If you have the opportunity when it comes, take it.
Okay, pass the mic to Cindy. Cindy went to Alaska. Like I say, my first one was in Syracuse, and there was Columbus and Grand Rapids twice. I missed the one in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Yes, I went to the one in Anchorage, and like Mark said, the motivational speakers were just truly awesome. The other thing is they put on seminars, and I was able to go because I was an incoming president, and I was taught that class by our current standing international president. How awesome is that? What is a chance of a lifetime to do that? You walked away feeling that you just needed to go out and start marching. You just wanted to go, 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 and it just, like I said, after going to the Leadership Institute, I did both of these in 1 year, the same year, and I was fired up and there was no stopping me. And the fire's a little dull right now, but it's coming back.
Yeah. And next slide, please. This is where the next one is. It'll be next September in Omaha, Nebraska. When you read the promotional material, each area promotes something that's cool about them, and they're promoting. Can anybody guess? Omaha. I thought that was hilarious to see. But typically, what will happen here, there's going to be something a little bit different this time, which normally it's seminars all day long, Thursday afternoon, all day Friday, and then all day Saturday, and an evening function as well. And this time in the afternoon, they're going to do service projects in Omaha. Two of them that they're going to do is kids site and eyeglass recycling. And the eyeglass recycling project, they're going to go through the whole process, just like we do with LERC here. But the kids site program is a project we have not looked at, but I would hope we would. It's basically screening for 6 to 12-year-olds. And it uses one little special machine, which is a lot cheaper than it was when it started, and it's just amazing. And they estimate they are going to probably screen about 1,000 kids that afternoon. And based on the percentages we have in the wagon, we're going to be about 5%, right? 6%. Closer to 10% right now of kids that you find that have challenges. Okay, next one, Lions University. This is one that everybody here in the room can do right now. They're offering a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD in Lionism. Isn't that interesting? The bachelor's program allows Lions to develop the skills necessary to lead a Lions club. Courses are directed to the skills needed to be a great club leader. The master's program focuses on giving support to clubs through district leaders. It's aimed at district level leaders, governors, vice governors, zone chairs, committee chairs. And then the doctorate program focuses on the skills and ability and training to facilitate adult volunteers. I've started in this. Much of it is review because they're classes I've actually taught, but it's still worth it. They're online. They're anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes long. It just kind of depends on the topic. They're done by nationally recognized and internationally recognized presenters. And I was lucky enough, by the way, in Grand Rapids to be a presenter for the first time, and it was quite the experience to have 200 people in a room that only seats 150. But Lions University gives you those things. There's a place to register there. Next slide. There's 10 classes that are in the basic criteria that you need to take, which is basically Lions history, club structure, club success, and a number of others, an additional 5 of the following. When we were at Grand Rapids, one of the requirements is you go to 2 forums after 2011, and they graduated 150 people with a bachelor's, and I think it was about 10 with a master's degree. Nobody with a PhD, because most of the PhD courses are not totally created. So with that, next slide. Where do you find out about this stuff? Whoops, the additional 5 of the following. And if you look at those additional 5, there's a special for club president, club secretary, club finances, your board, your team. All things that can help you be a better a lion and a leader in Lions. And you don't have to take them in any particular order, but they're there, just as long as you hit those classes. Next slide. Okay, you got the resource sites. Good. Okay, resource sites. These are the 4 places that you can go. lionsclubs.org, Northwest NWLLI.org, lionsforum.org, and lionsuniversity.org, where you can get the information that you might look for. So I'm going to finish up with the next slide. This is either my best likely or least likely place to be elected international director. When I say best or least is because I would be following Don Shove from up in District H as international director. And normally they don't like international directors to follow each other. But this is a place where past international director Arnie Peterson was elected, so there's some nostalgia in this for me. For those of you who weren't aware, I worked for him for 5 years, and we were friends for life, because he wouldn't let me go into Rotary. Define work, yeah. I had to call on Jim Reineke and see if he would let go of 43 cents to buy a commercial.
You still owe me a lunch.
I still owe you a lunch, probably. But that's our next one that's coming. Ideally, if there was a team from my own club in Japan, my odds of success are much greater there. When I say a team, and that's a long way to go, and I would hope that those of you out there might be able to afford it or think about it, could be willing to put together enough money to fly to Japan and back and stay there. If you can't, I understand, because it is a long way away. I didn't put up the second opportunity for me to be elected will be in Chicago at our 100th anniversary. My motivation there. Can anybody guess why? Membership. Throughout the ages, the Asian countries have taken over. Obviously China now, Pakistan and India. Yeah, I'm going to close with my very first experience at that USA-Canada forum in Syracuse. This was the first dinner, or first lunch, the first day I was there, and I still hadn't seen anybody from MD-19. Well, I didn't know that many at that point, so I just went up to this one table and I sat down between these 2 gentlemen. And we were talking, and all of a sudden I noticed that the table has a reserve sign on it. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I better get out of here." He says, "Oh, no, stay. On my left was an international director from Pakistan. On my right was an international director from India. Now, if you look back at when I was elected, this is about the time that India and Pakistan were almost going to war. They were almost ready to start the third war. And I said, "You guys get along?" He says, "Lions brings people together." And it's the truth. Lions brings people together. With that, I would like to open up for questions or comments, or George.
Just a comment. I was happened to be in Longview when Arnie was running for international director, and it was a lot of fun. We got up at 4:30 in the morning.
Is that in fun?
And hotel after hotel, handing out the literature to all the different caucuses scattered around Tokyo. And it was quite interesting, some of the taxi rides we had at 5 o'clock in the morning. But we survived. It was really quite an experience.
Correct. Jim?
Having traveled with Lion George Bourne Many locations in Lionsville. I can tell you what he did from 4:30 in the morning.
Oh!
They're called hospitality rooms.
Dolly has a question.
Who got it all in the end, all of these?
She asked a very good question. And I'm going to have Cindy answer this question. The question is, who can go to these programs I just described? Cindy?
Anybody.
Anybody. Here's a big mistake we made in this club as Cindy was going through the chairs. She felt or thought these were exclusive events that she couldn't go to. Until I looked her in the eye and I said, no, this is for all Lions. You know, standing in a street corner talking to somebody from the Philippines and one day. The next day you're talking to somebody from Cuba. You know, all these countries. How many countries is it, Steve? 210? 210 countries. It's just an amazing experience. What other questions do you have? Cindy?
I just have a statement real quick. It's that when I went to the USA Canada Forum, there was nobody from MD-19 that I ever found. And so I was in the midst of all these strangers, and it was really cool. What they do is they set up color-coded dinner tables. So you go to that table. I sat with past international presidents, international directors, a guy, this threesome that from Pennsylvania that had been to all 35 at that time of the USA Canada leadership. So it's fun. And you also get out of it what you put into it. But I can't say enough good about it.
What other questions, Steve?
Will your photo be doctored up a little bit? We're able to go there and pass out brochures?
Yes. Big a pencil in hair. That's good. That's good. What other questions? Well, fellow Lions, I hope you consider at least one, if not all of these during your Lions career, because they make a gigantic difference. Mr. President.
We're supposed to
I
give
already have two of those.
but do you want an application?
Yes. I got a member to give it to.
Good, good. You don't need the mug?
I've got two mugs.
Okay.
That's good enough.
All right.
I got a pretty mug and I got an ugly mug.
Oh, and this is the pretty.
Oh, I